Welcome guys on E11 Forex Trading. My name is Elijah and welcome you on this wonderful channel where we share our thought process on different Forex pairs. So this week we'll be taking a look at GBP USD, GBP Jpy, EURUSD and gold. And if you still have some other time, we'll take a look at other pairs. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the notification button also so you don't miss out on any videos we'll be posting. Awesome guys, let's get into it. So yes guys, we'll be taking a look at some other few pairs here. We'll be taking a look at some other few pairs. Let's go to GBP USD first. So let's take a look at GBP USD. On GBP USD, we said here on a monthly, we are on a monthly time frame. We said here we had the first touch there, second touch there, and also we're expecting a third touch around this area. And as you can see that our price it is at this area where we're expecting our third touch there. So we anticipate that if price doesn't break out of this declining channel to the upside, price will be shooting to the downside as indicated on our previous analysis by this arrow. So we anticipate that if price doesn't break above, it will drop to the downside. So price might decide to break and come to that level there at 143,550. If price doesn't break this level at 143,550, price can decide to shoot back and go to the downside. We can now only say price will be changing direction or moving to the upside if we now see that price is breaking the region at 143,550. But at the moment on the monthly time frame, we still expect price to shoot to the downside. So let's take a look at a weekly time frame. On a weekly time frame, as you can see, the price is also squeezed within this channel here. So this price is just squeezed within this channel to the upside. So we're anticipating the price around this area. That's where we anticipate a third touch on the monthly time frame. So the weekly time frame, we anticipate that if price doesn't break to the upside, price will also shoot to the downside. So within few weeks or this week, price can play around this region here. Price can be playing around this region until it decides to either break to the upside or break to the downside. So let's take a look at a daily time frame. So the daily time frame, let's clear this thing which we have been using last week just to highlight and explain what is has been happening. So last week we have just been showing our first thought processes and second thought processes. So let's clear them out. So on a daily time frame, as you can see around here, price is failing to break out of this area here. Price is still failing to break out of the area of 1.37650 or this area here. So price around this area is forming it has shoot to the downside with a bearish engulfing candle. It has engulfed the previous 2 days of trading. So this candle to the downside is so strong, it is a bearish engulfing candle, suggesting that price can come to the downside on a daily perspective here. On a daily perspective, we anticipate that price might be playing within this area. Price might be playing within this area on a daily. So price can decide to come to this area, then price shoot back, and then price doing like that on a daily time frame, and then price probably go back to that area. If it doesn't break out of that area, price may come there and then either decide to break to the downside, continuing to the downside. If price doesn't break this area, remember on a monthly time frame around this area, we're expecting a third touch. So price will be playing within this region on a daily time frame and on a weekly time frame. So that's what we're anticipating on a daily time frame and on a weekly time frame. So let's clear that out. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. As you can see on a 4-hour time frame, price, last week we said around this area here, we anticipate that price will be coming to the downside around this area. Price will be shooting to the downside, and price broke and it came to the downside and quickly reversed. So now price on a 4-hour time frame is forming a double top around this area. Price is forming a double top around this area, indicating some reversal pattern. So price on a 4-hour time frame, and it's indicating that price might decide to do like this, and come to this area. Our first target will be at 1.34562. So this will be our area of target. Or price after that, price may decide to go back to this area and then coming to this region, playing within that region on a weekly, on daily time frame. So this is what our first anticipation on on a GBP USD. Price might decide from here it gaps and then should back up. So we'll just be taking a look at what price does. We'll not be rushing into the trades, but our first business at the moment, if price doesn't get to the upside, price will be playing going to the downside, taking into consideration that price has formed a double top on a 4-hour time frame. So anticipate that price will come to this level here at 1.34550 area. So let's take a look at a 1-hour time frame. So on a 1-hour time frame, as you can see here, so price on a 1-hour time frame is forming some, so on our 1-hour time frame here, if price break that area there, if price break this area, price will then be shooting, coming to this level at 1.34550 or 530 area on a 1-hour time frame. If it doesn't break, price may decide to shoot back up and test this region. If it doesn't break there, we'll be going down based also on breaking that uptrend. So yes guys, that's our thought process on GBP USD. So let's take a look at GBP JPY, and then GBP JPY, let's take a look at it from a monthly time frame. On a monthly time frame, GBP JPY, we said on GBP JPY on monthly time frame that around this area here, we anticipate that price may decide to come and to this area. We have a third touch and then we shoot to the downside. So price has to decide whether to break out of this area at this few months from now. If price doesn't break this area, we anticipate that price may be breaking to the downside around this area. But previously we said that we anticipate that price will be breaking, coming here on a monthly perspective. We expect that price will come to this area and then test that area there. But on weekly and daily time frame, price might decide also to break this area and come to this region, test this area, and then from testing this area, price might decide to come and then test. We have a third touch there, and then from there we drop to the downside. So that's what we're anticipating on a monthly time frame. So let's take a look at a daily time frame. So if we take a look at a daily time frame, let's clear some of these things out. So let's clear those things out. Let's clear this thing out. Let's clear some of these things. So as we clear these things out, that's what we're anticipating on a monthly time frame. So we anticipate that price will be moving and go, and we have a third touch one way or another on a monthly time frame. So we take a look at the weekly time frame. As we take a look at a weekly time frame, we anticipate that price will be now playing within this region. So price on a weekly time frame will be playing within this region until it decides whether to break this uptrend or decide to break to the upside. So on a weekly time frame, that's what we're anticipating. And a monthly, on a weekly time frame, we anticipate that price will be playing around this region until it decides to break either to the upside or to the downside. So that's what we're anticipating on a weekly time frame. So as you can take a look at this area, we have a bearish engulfing pattern here, engulfs 2 days, 2 trading days there. But price also might be either if it has broken a little bit above this area of resistance there, but there's a strong also resistance around this area. So price may decide to shoot to the downside, coming this area, test this area, and then shoot back there, test this area, or price decide to break above from here. Price may decide from here, if it doesn't break, it may decide to go and test this area. So price might decide just to come here. Price might decide to come to this area, then go to the upside. If it doesn't break this level, then we might be breaking to the downside. But if we break, we'll be shooting to the upside. Or price might just be playing around this area, or break straight to the upside. So that's what we're anticipating on a daily time frame, on this pair, on a daily time frame, on this pair, on GBP JPY. So we'll be now taking a look at 4-hour time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame on this area, on a 4-hour time frame, as you can see that we have also a double top around this area. We have a top there, we have a top there, so price is shooting to the downside. So on a 4-hour time frame, we anticipate that if price doesn't go back to the upside, we anticipate that price might come test this area, then go back like that, and then shoot to this area or go to the downside. So that's our first thought process. Our second thought process is that if price does, this area was a resistance there, resistance there, resistance there, now it may tend to be support around this area. Price may decide to shoot back to the upside. So that's our second thought process. But at the moment, we anticipate that price may break a little bit back in and then like that. But if now this doesn't play out, price may decide to act as a support there and shoot back to the upside. So that's what we're anticipating on on this GBP Jpy, but also on an hour time frame. On an hourly time frame, as you can take a look here, on an hourly time frame, there's some small wedge pattern, or peanut pattern that is forming around this area, showing some either price may reverse or either continue to the downside. So this pattern here is indicating that price might either reverse, go back, or either breaks and go to the downside. So we'll be taking a look at which side does price break to from here, from this consolidation area. Then we now take trades based on that. So that's what we are anticipating on GBP JPY. So let's take a look at Euro USD. On Euro USD, let's take a look at from a monthly time frame. So EURUSD from a monthly time frame, we said that around this area we expect the price may play and then maybe drop, form a head and shoulder and drop to the downside. If price only it doesn't break 1.25143, we anticipate that price may drop back in, form a head and shoulder there, and then drop to the downside. But if price continue playing out there and break this level at 1.25143, then price will be now expecting price to be shooting, continuing to the upside. If price break this area here where we have indicated with that paper line there, we anticipate that price will be continuing. But at the moment, we anticipate that price will play there and then drop back in. If you drop back in here, it will form head and shoulder and then shoot straight, continue to the downside, then forming what is looking like an M formation, forming what looks like an M formation from this bigger time frame. So if price break back in, it will form this kind of what looks like an M formation, then it shoot downside. So that's what we're anticipating on a monthly time frame on EURUSD. So the weekly time frame, as we analyzed previous week, so we said around this area last week, I said around this area we expect that price would drop on EURUSD. The description, the link will be on the description below, where we have shared our thought process on how we expected price around this area to drop to the downside. Our first target was in this area where now price is, and those if we have capitalized on this trade, you would have banked around 280 pips I also said from previous analysis that from there I anticipate that price will drop to this area, that is 285 pips, which you should have enjoyed and capitalized on. So around this area we anticipate that there will be some back and forth or so, then before price maybe drop to the downside. So if price comes to this area and doesn't break back in, price can either go back to the upside. But at the moment everything looks so strongly with this bearish candle on the weekly. Everything still looks bearish at the moment, but everything can change. Price can decide to gap to the upside. So as you can see from there, we anticipate that price may be shooting to this area, come and test this level, or even come and test this area here. So we anticipate that price may be playing around this area and then come test there, or price may shoot straight, test that area, then continue just like that. So that is our thought process on the daily time frame. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we anticipate that price will be forming some high, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, until it goes to the downside. So on hourly time frame also, we anticipate that price will be forming. Let's clear that out, as we've already indicated even previous weeks. So we anticipate that price will be forming some lower highs, lower lows, going to the downside. So that's our thought process on Euro USD. So let's take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. As we take a look at gold, let's go to the monthly time frame. So gold, we said from there gold will be dropping back in. So gold now, there's a strong bearish weekly candle, which now gold has dropped to the downside. So we anticipate that gold on a monthly time frame will come to this area here, then gold shoot back then now gold come to this area. From this area at 1441, we anticipate that if price doesn't break there, price will be going long term, either maybe reaching to the 2000 or 3000 levels. So but at the moment price will be playing within this channel, maybe probably until this area of 1680, then it breaks, come back to 1960, then price goes back then to this level. But if price doesn't break below this trend line, price may be shooting straight. But if price break this trend line, then we'll be coming to this area then. So let's take at a weekly time frame on gold. So gold on weekly time frame, let's clear this previous analysis. This is how we have been showing on a previous analysis. So we expect that gold will now be continuing to this area. Then we'll expect that gold may either move a little bit back, forming just like that, playing around this area. Gold may be playing around this area, then from there gold breaks and then come to this area there, then comes back. If it breaks there, gold will be coming down and test those area at 1460 or 1450 areas. So that's what we're anticipating, what gold will do on a weekly time frame. On a daily, as you can see that everything, there's some head and shoulder forming around this area. So around this area, gold may decide just to be dropping massively to this area down there, and then playing around this area, as we have already said, on a weekly time frame. On so also on a 4-hour time frame, as you can see on a 4-hour time frame, gold is just trapped within this area here. So this is just a flat pattern that is forming around this area. So gold is within this flag pattern. So we'll just be waiting for a break out of this flag. So gold, if it breaks out of this flag pattern, so if gold continue to play within this flag pattern, we'll just be waiting for the break out of this pattern, and then we capitalize on this move. So gold may decide just to go back there, test this this area on an M formation there. As you can see, there's an M formation that has formed there. So gold may decide to go back, test that neckline, and then break to the downside, or play within there, then decide to break to the downside. So that's what we're anticipating on a 4-hour time frame. Let's take a look at a 1-hour time frame. So in 1-hour time frame, as you can see, gold is just at this area. There's a build up at this area. So if price decide to break from there, price may break straight and then go to the target playing within that channel until a break out of that bullish flag pattern. So yes, guys, that's what our thought process are on these pairs, on GBP USD, GBP JPY, EURUSD, and gold. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, guys, to check also this description below to check our previous analysis, or which we've been sharing about this pair. So awesome, guys, till we meet again on our next